The Delhi Braveheart has become a symbol for the country. She is the focal point of protests. However, we cannot forget the countless other Bravehearts of India who've been handed injustice and nothing else by this system. Can we let their voices go unheard? Yesterday, we spoke about Rajasthan's Bhavari Devi, who has been awaiting justice for over 20 years. Today, we follow up on two Bravehearts from Kerala and Uttar Pradesh. 17 years ago, a young girl from Kerala was gang raped by 42 men for 40 days, but she has not got any justice yet. Her parents are fast losing hope, while her tormentors roam free. The other Bravehearts from UP's Basti demands justice or permission to die as she is unable to bear the pain and unending humiliation. These voices cannot be ignored. Well, the victimization of a rape victim and her family could not be crueler than this. This is the story of a 16-year-old girl from Kerala's Suryanelli, who was a victim of a serial gang rape by 42 men. Now she and her family live a life of social outcasts.
96 മുതൽ ഞങ്ങൾ നിയമപോരാട്ടമായിട്ട് ഇങ്ങനെ കഴിഞ്ഞുകൂടിക്കൊണ്ടിരിക്കുകയാണ്. ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് ഇതുവരെ ഒരിടത്തുനിന്നും ഒരു നീതിയും കിട്ടുന്നില്ല. പിന്നെ ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് കിട്ടിയ ഏക നീതി കോട്ടയം സെഷൻസ് കോടതിയിൽ നിന്ന് ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് നീതി കിട്ടിയായിരുന്നു. പക്ഷെ അത് ഞങ്ങളുടെ ഈ വിക്ടിംസ് എല്ലാം കൂടെ കൊണ്ട് അപ്പീലിന് പോയി അവരെ എല്ലാവരും കേസിൽ നിന്നും രക്ഷപ്പെട്ട് വെളിയിൽ കൂടി നല്ല മാന്യൻ മര്യാദയോടുകൂടി അവർ നടക്കുന്നു. ഈ കേസ് സംഭവിച്ചപ്പോൾ ഇതുമായിട്ട് ഞങ്ങൾ കോടതിയിലോട്ട് പോയി പോലീസിൽ പരാതി കൊടുത്തു. അതാണ് ഞങ്ങൾ ഈ സമൂഹത്തോട് ചെയ്ത വേറൊരു ക്രൂരത.
In 2000, a special court sentenced 35 people to rigorous imprisonment, but in 2005, the Kerala High Court acquitted them, handing a 5-year term to only one of them. The victim has been driven out of her home several times. Her parents still wait for justice. Socially ostracized, the girl continues to be targeted.
പിന്നെ ഈ കുട്ടികളുടെ മുഖം കാണുമ്പോൾ നമ്മുടെ നെഞ്ചു പൊട്ടുകയാണ്. ബഹുമാനപ്പെട്ട ഗവൺമെന്റിനോട് ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് പറയാനുള്ളത്, ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് ബാക്കി കുറച്ച് കാലമേ ഉള്ളൂ ജീവിതം. അതിനകം ഞങ്ങൾക്കൊരു നീതി കിട്ടുമെന്ന് ഞങ്ങൾ പ്രതീക്ഷിക്കുന്നു. പലരും ഞങ്ങളെ വിലക്കിയതാണ്, നിങ്ങൾ കേസിന് പോകണ്ട, അതിന് പോകണ്ട, ഇതിന് പോകണ്ടെന്ന്. അത് കാരണം കൊണ്ട് ഞങ്ങൾ സമൂഹത്തിൽ വെറും ഒറ്റപ്പെട്ട് കഴിയുന്നു.
Meanwhile, the accused, who are both politically and economically strong, have not stopped targeting this girl and her family. Rajya Sabha MP PJ Kurian too was an accused in this case, but he was later acquitted by the court. Jacob Stefan, a former Kottayam district president of the Congress party, was also an accused. He was also acquitted by the High Court. The big question: will her tormentors get away, aided by their clout and proximity to the power center? Well, rape and ensuing injustice has become a sordid reality in this country. This Braveheart from UP's Basti is demanding justice or permission to die as her rapists continue to roam free more than 6 months after they assaulted her. Headlines Today is committed to making the voices of these Bravehearts heard. This young Braveheart is now losing hope and is pleading for mercy killing.
उमा शंकर और राजेश दोनों 15 अगस्त को ये दोनों रेप किए थे और कोतवाली थाना में मुकदमा दर्ज हुआ और दोनों एक सप्ताह वहाँ कोतवाली में बंद थे, वहाँ से छोड़ दिए गए थे। एसडीएम की हमें आज दरखास्त दी थी मृत्यु के लिए, अगर कार्रवाई होगी तो मैं मृत्यु अपना कर लूंगी।
The young woman was raped by 2 men on 15th August last year. The accused were arrested only to walk free soon after. They now allegedly use every means possible to intimidate the girl's family. Not very surprisingly, the cops have displayed an indifferent attitude to the case so far.
आगे पीछे कोई है नहीं और पुलिस वाले रुपया पैसा ले करके हमारे केस को खाई के हजम कर देना चाहते हैं और दो बार मुलजिम के पकड़ छोड़ दिया और मुलजिम गांव पर हम लोग के धमकी या घुड़की देते हैं.
When Akhilesh Yadav took oath as the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, he made tall promises of delivering better law and order. Has he forgotten his promise? Till when will he continue to ignore Basti's own Braveheart? I want to quickly get in a word from Headlines Today's Swastika Mehta, who's been tracking all of these stories. Swastika, it's a good thing that the mood in the nation right now gives us an opportunity to revisit the huge, literally endless number of stories where the injustice has been so cruel, so stark, some of these people waiting for decades together for justice.
Absolutely, Shiv. In fact, Headlines today spoke to legal experts, and then this particular case has also cropped up the question of how long will these cases keep running in trial courts, and a need to set up a fast track court to get the accused punished, because that's where the lacuna exists in the existing rape laws. Most of the time the perpetrators, they run scot free after committing the crime because of the kind of stigma that is attached with this crime and the way in which the trial courts function. So the need for a fast track court to attend to matters that come with crimes against women, which includes rape or even acid attack, is something that needs urgent focusing and immediate attention from the government of India.
Well, it really is scary that even the national mood as we know it right now cannot really mobilize anything for each one of these people, and that's why we need to keep telling and retelling these stories. Praveen, my colleague, joins me from Thiruvananthapuram for an update on that serial gang rape story. Praveen, are we seeing anything move at all? The desperate situation in which that family is, has moved so many of our viewers. Can anything happen for them now, considering how angry and frustrated people are with the system?
Shiv, in fact, if you could revisit this story, we have seen what had happened to that girl and that family. In fact, they had moved the petition against the High Court order in 2005, and the Supreme Court had heard that petition, that appeal, only once in 2005. And second time when they heard that case was only day before yesterday. That was around 8 years after. So that shows, because you have to understand one thing. In this case, in fact, a fast-track court was set up only to try this case in Suriname because there were 42 accused. So a special court was formed when this case had happened, when the trial had begun. And in fact, the trial court had convicted 35 of them for life. But they walked out free from the High Court. Only one of them got a minimal punishment for 5 years imprisonment, and all the other accused, who are all very politically and economically well connected and influential in the society, they walked out freely. So the father and the mother of the victim, the elder sister of the victim, they all are living in utter pain and isolation. Nobody is talking to them. They are treated as accused just for the reason that they have fought this case in court. They have taken up this matter. They were not ready to leave this insult that had come to their family. But the result was very catastrophic. They were very devastating for them because they had to leave their native place in Suriname where they had built a beautiful house of their dream. They had to sell that. Then they came to Changanasheri in Kottayam district. There also they have no peace of mind because everyone is looking at them as they are at fault. They are the kind of accused. When the accused persons are living very freely, they have their own family, they have their own life, and they have no social stigma attached to them. That is the sad part of this whole story. So the very key argument in this thing is that whether better laws or stringent laws would really help the rape victims in this country, Shiv.
All right, thanks Praveen for getting us that update. We're going to have to keep the media focused on these stories. Each of these stories, they're far from Delhi, some of them are far from metropolitan cities, but that really is the challenge, isn't it, Swastika, about how, these are stories that aren't confined to Delhi. The Delhi gang rape, episode has become representative of a national issue, but it is also a reminder, each one of these stories is a reminder that this is an issue on a national level from every little corner of this country. Okay, we'll get a word from Swastika a little later. He dared to stand up for a woman's honor, but his selfless courage was brutally crushed by rowdies on the hunt. The system that has been making loud noises about rising up and fighting back against such crimes was found wanting again. This is a shocker from Ranchi that would tell why nothing is changing despite the unending outrage. This is a story of a 38-year-old Good Samaritan who was beaten to death by drunk hoodlums after he prevented them from molesting a 29-year-old in Ranchi. Shrikant Bharadwaj jumped to a 29-year-old woman's rescue as she was dragged by hoodlums out of a house and was being assaulted. He chased the men away, who returned with about 10 others within 15 minutes and beat Bharadwaj to death and also thrashed his other friends.
पीट होने के कितने देर बाद पहुंची पुलिस यहाँ पे?
2 घंटा के बाद पहुंचा है पुलिस।
अगर समय
खबर किया गया था?
हाँ, किया था।
आपको क्या लग रहा है कि घटना के आधा घंटा बाद तक भी पुलिस पहुंचती तो ये घटना रुक सकती थी?
हाँ, रुक सकता, मतलब वो आता तक लोग मैंने डरता, चाहे जो भी भाग जो होता, चाहे डराता पकड़ाता लोग।
औरत के छेड़खानी करने के आरोप में जो बचाव पक्ष में ये लोग गए थे, बचाव पक्ष में गए तो उस युवक को भगाया, उसके बाद में दोबारा 150 आदमी
दोबारा आकर के इनको मतलब
दोबारा आकर के माने मार।
But here's the more shocking part. The system failed to respond completely. The incident happened around 5 p.m. on Jan 1st in Ranchi, and as it unfolded, 6 calls were made to the police, 4 to mobile officer in charge of the area. The police arrived half an hour late. Their alibi, they lost their way while trying to reach for rescue. What's worse, 3 days after the crime, only one accused has been arrested.
प्रारंभिक मालूम पड़ा है कि वो कुछ लोग पिए हुए थे, तो उन लोगों ने मैंने औरत के साथ बड़ी मारपीट कर दी। इसी बात का विरोध जब हुआ उन लोगों ने भी इन लोगों के साथ मारपीट कर दी। तो दोनों पर फिर ये लोग जाके बच्चे वापस जब गए तो मालूम पड़ा, फिर यहाँ इन लोगों ने आकर और मारपीट की। तब इस घटना में श्रीकांत जो भारद्वाज है उसको छोड़ कर डाल दी।
And the one accused is a minor. The police hasn't revealed his identity because of his age, and it's because of this age shield that he might get away with murder. The case will be tried by a juvenile justice board despite the heinous nature of the crime. We want to leave you with a thought. Shrikant Bharadwaj died standing up for a woman, while our netas who should be learning from his example are busy degrading them. Wouldn't India be a better place if each one of us pledges to defend the rights of all women? What's even more shocking is that the people at the helm of affairs in Jharkhand aren't even bothered. Whether it's the Chief Minister, State Home Minister or the DGP, nobody has even expressed sorrow over the incident, forget taking action against the culprits. These are stories that must be told and retold. We must never forget, because the anger in this country right now is useful and it must be harnessed for change.